Morning, everybody. I'm Clutch from the Sodak Motorcycle blog, and I got some bad news. Hi everyone, it's Clutch here again from the Sodak Motorcycle blog. Hope everything is well with you. Before we begin, I'd like to remind you to click that subscribe notification and also click that bell icon to let you know when we have new videos come out. Generally, new videos will always come up every week on Thursday nights at 7 o'clock in the Mountain Time Zone here in the United States. So I got some bad news. Distracted driving, and especially texting and driving, well, guess what? It's not going away. It's not going away. It's here to stay. It's been here for a while. You know, anything that involves a phone and driving, let's be honest, it's not going away. I mean, we can sit here all day, we can preach about it, we can yell at people about it, laws can be passed, but let's be honest, with the penalties and the enforcement priority that's placed on drunken driving now, and it still happens, what do you think is going to happen with something where the penalty is only $100 and that's it? Like, really, to make any dent in distracted driving, or especially any phone use, stuff like that, they'd probably have to have penalties just like penalties for DUI, and I don't see that happening anytime soon. Yep, that's some pretty bad news, and unfortunately, it's the way it is. Now, before you give up and get all defeatist, well, there's a few things you can do, but I mean, let's think about what you can do. Well, one thing you can do is you can quit riding altogether, and for me, that's not going to happen. I have way too much fun riding. Now, granted, let me caveat that with I have the advantage of open spaces. I live in the part of the world that really, you know, other than once you get into the cities, that there's very little bit of traffic. It's very wide open spaces. Also, I'm living in a pretty small area. I mean, the Rapid City metro area is 145,000. Yeah, there's city centers that are bigger than that. The Rapid City metro is not very big. You know, the rush hour here isn't very intense. It's about 10 minutes right at 5 o'clock usually. There takes care of the quit option. Well, I could get mad about it. And, well, let's be honest. Fighting it out with a car won't help when you're on a motorcycle. You know, like I've said before, you don't take your motorcycle to a car fight. You know, and honestly, getting mad about things, it just makes the situation worse. And, well, let's be honest. It's also, being mad all the time is actually pretty bad for your health. So, yeah, getting mad about it really is not going to do any good. I could always go with loud pipes. First of all, here's the problem with that. I ride on Goldwing, you know. And secondly, I'm old enough now where I'm kind of over the loud pipes thing. And, you know, I guess, yeah, you could say loud pipes save lives. But I've always thought that's more of a hey, why are your pipes so loud? Oh, they save lives, kind of a joking term anyway, but some people actually believe it. And I'll be honest with you, there's some merit to loud exhaust. I mean, you definitely hear a loud motorcycle coming up on you. But like I said, I really don't want to listen to a loud ass exhaust on my motorcycle all day long. I just don't want to do it. So, well, you could always deal with it. I mean, you could accept that this is the way it is. It's not a bad idea, but you still gotta do things so you can stay safe. And well, so here's a few things you could do. You could practice. You could work on your emergency skills. You could work on your swerving skills. There's plenty of resources out there. Of course, you got Moto Jitsu. He's on YouTube. He's got quite a few books. He also has a nice little app. That's what I use. I think his app was like $3 on the App Store. So I use his app to work on his skills. You could join MC Riders community as well. He also has a writing guide, or what he calls a field guide, that you have access to if you support his channel. So those are a few things you can do. Practicing, obviously, you can talk about emergency stopping and swerving and stuff all day, but unless you're practicing it, you're not going to know how to do it. You're not going to have that muscle memory to do it. You know, when you're on your road, you can when you're on the road, you can ride defensively. You can be aware of what's happening, expect the unexpected. Instead of focusing on what's going on a foot in front of your bumper, keep your eyes a good mile, half mile ahead. Watch what traffic's doing. Be mindful of what's happening. If in my experience, you can look at people coming out of driveways and stuff, and you usually, I got it pretty good at predicting what they'll do. And I think a lot of it is because 90% of the time, they will pull out in front of you. And so if you're sitting there expecting them to pull out in front of you, guess what? You're not going to be surprised when they do pull out in front of you. And also, another thing is, understand that there is a concept. It's called inattentional blindness. They probably don't see you. This is something that's been studied in science. I'm sorry, but I don't care what your favorite motorcycle attorney tells you. Inattentional blindness is a thing. So you should ride like inattentional blindness is a thing. Yeah, they pulled down in front of you because they probably didn't see you. And they may have looked right at you, and for whatever reason in their mind, it said, there's nothing there, I'm going to go. A motorcycle's small, it's generally not a threat. And I've seen the same thing when I've been walking down the sidewalk as a pedestrian, and when I've been running down the road, doing a run during the week. I see the same things all the time. Bottom line is, you as the rider, take some responsibility and prepare for that, and prepare for those things to happen. Here's another thing you can do. Use that motorcycle to your advantage. Motorcycles have quick acceleration. They stop faster. They have much better maneuverability than a car does. You can fit them in tight spots. And, in some states where it's allowed, you can lane split. Every advantage you have with your motorcycle, use it to your advantage. So let's go back to precisely what I do. And here's my mentality. First of all, like I said before, I accept that people are going to drive distracted. That's just the way it is. I've just learned to accept it. I'm over fighting it. I'm over arguing with it. I just accept it, that it happens, and I'm going to be mindful of it. But here's the big thing, though. I control what I control. I make sure and get my practice in. You wear your safety gear, wear your helmet, wear your jacket, wear your riding pants, wear your gloves. Use that equipment that you bought. Use it to your advantage. It's going to help you. In the end, every little bit helps. The other thing is, I maintain my bike. I maintain my machine. I keep the tires up and ready. One of the reasons why it's 55 degrees today and you don't see me on a motorcycle as well, because my front tire is not ready to go yet, and I'm waiting for a new one to come in. And unfortunately, that's just the way it is. But maintain your motorcycle, maintain your machine, keep it maintained, keep those brakes ready to go, keep them tires good. Those are what keep you safe if you got to maneuver out of a bad situation. So make sure your machine actually works. And another thing I will do is I'll ride with the thought of, yep, no one here can see me. I always kind of ride with that thought process. I won't hang around in blind spots. I won't just plop myself in traffic and hide. I'm going to ride like no one can see me. Every time someone comes up the intersection, I'm just going to make the assumption that they're not going to see me and pull out in front of me, and it usually saves my bacon quite a bit. When you get on the road, I keep my head on a swivel, and I keep my head in the right headspace. I'm always trying to pay attention to everything. Don't ride aggravated. Don't ride, if you can't focus when you're riding, stop, relax, get yourself calmed down before you go back riding again, because having your head in the wrong spot is not going to help you on the road. You need to have your head present on the road, paying attention to what is going on. Generally, I'll ride with the ATGAT philosophy of all the gear all the time. But at the minimum, I'm going to have my helmet on, I'm going to have my gloves on, and I'm going to have my riding jacket on and my riding boots. That's at the minimum what I'm going to have. Maybe instead of riding pants, you might see me in a pair of blue jeans, but I'm at least going to have those main parts covered and at least have something on my legs and over my ankles. Another thing I'll do is I make it my mission all the time I go out to ride to make it home without an accident. That's just I try to ride with that mentality of like, I will make it home. I'm not going to let the stupid actions of others on the road affect my chances of coming home or not. I'm going to do those things I have to do to get myself home at night. And also, like I said before, I will use that motorcycle to my advantage. I'll use lane positioning to my advantage. if I'm coming up on an intersection and there's traffic getting ready in that turn lane, I'll pop out dang near on the center line. Just this is another way where, hey, maybe they can see me. I'll back off maybe away from that front vehicle. I'll also try to be maybe in that inside lane if at all possible. Just doing every little thing I can do so they can see me. Other things I might do when I'm in lanes, every once in a while you might see me kind of just make a little move back and forth, just as another way so people have a chance of seeing that little quick side movement with that headlight. Those are probably two of the biggest things I do. But I will always change my lanes change my lane positioning depending on the situation. I don't just sit in one part of the lane and camp out there. That's just what I do not do. Another thing I'll do is if it's in heavy traffic, I'll generally try to go a little bit faster in the pace. Now, if traffic's going 75, I'm not saying go 100 miles an hour. What I'm saying is, okay, so maybe the traffic pace is 75, okay. Well, maybe keep your pace about 78 miles per hour. And along with that, I'm generally riding just a little bit quicker, and I'm always kind of trying to looking for that open space on the road. Generally, unless it's really crazy backed up traffic, generally I can kind of find some open space, and that's what I'm always striving for, is trying to get to some open space, trying to get away from people as best as I can. Sometimes you can't avoid it, but either way, like I said, keeping that speed just a little bit above the pace of traffic kind of helps you avoid getting lost in the shuffle, because that's the last thing you want to do on the bike is get lost in the shuffle, because then it's really hard for people to see you. If in the end you're still having trouble going out and riding and dealing with distracting drivers or whatever, you know what? Maybe it's time to actually hang it up. Because to me, if you're riding a motorcycle, if it's not fun, then to me it defeats the purpose of riding. Because you ride a motorcycle because it's fun. That's probably why you got into riding a motorcycle, because it's fun. If it's not fun anymore, I'd say hang it up. And I think that would go for me too. If I got to that point of it's not fun anymore, I don't like doing it, well, guess what? I'd probably give up the riding. And there's other things you can do that will give you kind of a similar experience. I mean, it won't be the same, but you could trade that motorcycle off and save up some money. Maybe you could buy yourself a nice little convertible. Or go buy yourself a nice little Jeep to use, or something like that. There's lots of other things you can do. The big thing is figure that out. And if that bike's just taking up space, you know what? Sell that bike to a good home, because I guarantee you there's probably another rider out there or prospective rider that's out there looking for a motorcycle, and you may just have the thing they want. Now, I already know there's probably a lot of you are going to disagree with me. A lot of you are going to probably have some choice words to say on YouTube, and that's okay. Everybody's got an opinion, but in the end, it's all about you. It's all about you taking responsibility when you're on a motorcycle to take care of yourself and to take care of your equipment and to get home safely. No one's going to take care of you. That's how it is. No one's going to take care of you. You have to take care of yourself. That's one of the things that we fight for so hard in America, is the right to take care of yourself. And motorcycling is no different. It's on you to do what you have to do to survive. And if you're not willing to do what you have to do to survive, and you're just going to sit around and complain about people distracted driving, but not do anything to improve your riding, and not wear any safety gear, and not do anything to improve your equipment, and just sit around and feel sorry for yourself and complain all day about how them terrible dastardly car drivers are coming out to kill me on purpose, well, you're going to have a pretty miserable life out on the road. One last thing, if you're going to sit around complaining about people distracted driving, well, then you better never, ever, ever be texting and driving. You better never, ever, ever have that phone to your ear in traffic while you're in your car. So I'm just going to say that too. Because if you're going to complain about it, but yet you're in your vehicle doing the same thing, well, then you're just a hypocrite. And what you say really has no meaning. But anyways, I think that's enough of the dark talk for now. And yeah, but otherwise, Super Bowl's this weekend. Hopefully your Super Bowl parties are awesome. Otherwise, we'll probably see you next week. Take care. Oh, and one last thing. Don't forget to subscribe to the Sodak Motorcycle Blog. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you can be notified as to when new videos come out. And if you like this video, hit like. If you dislike this video, hit the dislike button. If you think I'm an idiot, tell me about it in the comments. If you think I'm awesome and I know everything, you can also tell me about that in the comments. Either way, it's YouTube. You can let your opinions be known, which is one of the great things about it. So, once again, for the Sodak Motorcycle Blog, I'm Clutch, and we'll see you later.